A mother warned her daughter not to become a murder victim. Hours later, she was abducted, raped, and executed. For 43 years, the killer lived a normal life until a secret buried in her DNA finally came calling. On a cold November morning in 1983, 16-year-old Sherry Joe Elliot left her Flint, Michigan home for a 2-block walk to the school bus. She was a shy, disciplined teenager who matched every outfit and never approached strangers. Her mother Joyce reminded her to dress warmly and then left for work. Sherry said, "Okay, love you," and stepped outside. She never reached the bus stop. When she failed to return home that afternoon, Joyce knew immediately this was not a runaway. Nothing was missing from her room. A mother's worst fear had begun its slow, silent unfold. 3 days later, a trapper found Sherry's body in a watery ditch 15 miles away. She lay face down, pants unbuckled, shot 4 times. Detectives recovered a single personal item from her neck. An officer carried that necklace to Joyce's door and asked if it was Sherry's. When Joyce said yes, he told her the girl was dead. The autopsy later revealed she had been alive in the freezing ditch, bleeding out slowly while her family searched. Evidence was collected, including a sexual assault kit. The killer had left his biological signature behind, preserved for a science that did not yet exist. Thousands of tips flooded the investigation. A man falsely claimed to have seen Sherry enter a yellow Camaro, wasting months. Another witness described a white van, a detail that sat ignored for decades. Police soon focused on Sherry's stepfather, Bob Schultz. He was the last to see her, and detectives found inconsistencies in his account. They recorded Joyce calling him in an attempt to extract a confession. Nothing emerged. Joyce defended her innocent husband while mourning her daughter. At the funeral, a stranger was spotted and briefly suspected before being identified as a distant cousin. The real killer remained faceless. The case went cold. Years passed, and Joyce's grief took a punishing toll. She found her own mother lying in Sherry's bed, consumed by loss. Dreams haunted her, a voice asking why she had not been found. In 2002, a task force re-examined the evidence. They developed a full DNA profile from the preserved kit and uploaded it to the National CODIS database. The system searched millions of profiles and found nothing. The perpetrator had never been arrested, never left a genetic trace in any criminal database. He was invisible, a ghost walking through ordinary life. In 2022, an old neighbor was arrested in Utah for living under a false identity. He had been interviewed in 1983 and left Michigan right after the murder. Detective Art obtained a DNA sample. It did not match, but the event reignited Art's determination to use modern science. He partnered with Western Michigan University students who digitized tens of thousands of case pages into a searchable database. The mountain of chaos became an organized investigative tool. With the paperwork under control, Art turned to the one piece of evidence that still held a secret, a sanitary napkin from the assault kit. In late 2025, that evidence reached a forensic laboratory called Othram. The goal was forensic-grade genome sequencing and genetic genealogy. The DNA, though decades old and degraded, was deemed viable. Othram extracted hundreds of thousands of genetic markers and searched for distant relatives in public databases. A lead surfaced, an elderly woman in Kansas. The problem was enormous. She had 79 grandchildren. Art and his partner flew to Kansas, collected DNA from the woman and her son, and sent the samples back. Genealogists then spent months pruning the family tree, searching for the one branch that extended into Michigan. In October 2025, the genealogists delivered a name, Ronnie Collins, a 75-year-old retired dental hygienist. In 1983, he was in his early 30s and living in Flint. He had worked at a Michigan prison, played guitar in a band, and was known as a good family man with no criminal record. Then an old tip resurfaced. Collins's band transported equipment in a white van. The decades-old detail that once meant nothing now aligned perfectly. Detective Art contacted Collins and arranged an interview for January 2026. Collins agreed, but when the day came, he never showed up. Art went to Collins's home with a search warrant for his DNA. Collins's wife answered the door. She revealed that on the day the interview was scheduled, Ronnie Collins had taken his own life. He left no confession, no explanation. A man who had inflicted a slow, violent death on a teenage girl chose a final escape rather than face a single question. The coroner collected his DNA during the autopsy. The state police laboratory, the same one that had held the original evidence for 43 years, ran the comparison. The match was conclusive. Ronnie Collins was the killer. Detective Art called Joyce with the confirmation. She did not feel relief. She said nothing had changed because she could still not hold her daughter or say she loved her. The detective also told her that Sherry was alive in that ditch, slowly bleeding to death. The new detail only sharpened an old wound. When Joyce saw Collins's online obituary filled with tributes calling him a wonderful man, she posted the truth. His friends reacted with such hostility that the comments were taken down. The monster had been so well hidden that his community refused to believe the evidence. Collins's death left many questions unanswered. Detectives believe a crime of this magnitude is rarely a first offense. 2 girls vanished from Oscoda, Michigan in 1969, last seen getting into a white van. Records show Collins's band performed there that weekend. Their bodies were never found, so no DNA comparison can be made. The connection remains circumstantial, but deeply troubling. Sherry's case stands as proof that preserved evidence and forensic genealogy can crack even the coldest files. A single biological sample waited 43 years and finally spoke. The science that named Ronnie Collins is only getting started.
If this story stayed with you, please like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments what shocked you the most. If you have any information related to the Sherry Joe Elliot case or other unsolved cases connected to it, please contact Crime Stoppers of Michigan. Even the smallest detail could matter. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next story.